Hi, welcome, and in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to an interview between Chris Cuomo and CEO and founder of Robinhood, Vlad Tenev. If you want to watch the interview with no sound effects, I'll link it in the description box below. I won't be offended. I think Chris does a phenomenal job in this interview, not letting Vlad slither out of answering questions, so I don't have much to add other than these feelings as I was watching it. Let's dive in.
I want you to address the obvious. This looks like a move by an outfit called Robinhood, which is supposed to be taken from the rich and given to the poor, and doing exactly the opposite. That when the big guys, including one of your main investors in your company, started to lose, you shut down the game to starve the little guy.
Yup.
Fair criticism.
Very fair.
That's not what it is at all. And I know you started this segment. It really resonated with me because you described the story of Robinhood. Robinhood started 5 years ago by pioneering commission-free, no-account minimum mobile
agreeing with
investing.
him, like, yeah, that's our story. This is right.
The spokesperson of the individual investor, and our whole goal as an institution is to enable those customers, empower them, and give them access to the markets. Because for the longest time, markets have been only accessible to the wealthy. And so the entire industry adopted our business model in 2019. And in 2020, we added millions of new customers. The entire industry added millions of new customers who took advantage of the market rally and became investors for the very first time. So, you know, we had to make a very difficult decision to protect our customers and our firm.
Why?
But we in no way...
Why? Tell him,
Explain
Chris.
why you had to do it if it wasn't to protect the guys who had shorted the stocks, which are the big hedge funds. How are you helping
this explanation we've all been
the little
waiting
guy
for.
investors?
How are you helping?
Well, I know that there's rumors around that, you know, we were directed by market makers or other market participants to do this. And I want to be 100% clear. This decision was not made on the direction of any market maker or other market participants.
So why'd you do it?
Robinhood, as a brokerage, has lots of financial requirements, SEC requirements. We have to put up money at clearinghouses. The amount of money that we have to put up depends on market volatility, and we're in historic. We're in a historic situation where there's a lot of activity and a lot of buying concentrated in a relatively small number of symbols that are going viral on social media. So we haven't really seen anything like this before. And to prudently manage the risk and the deposit requirements, we had to restrict buying in these 13 stocks.
For who?
But customers that held them could sell throughout. Thousands of other securities and stocks on our platform are available to freely trade. And our number one priority, as you mentioned, is to make sure our platform is reliable, stable for our customers. We're serving our customers and giving them the tools.
But that's exactly what's
a crime happened in these couple of stocks potentially, but look at the other stocks that were fine.
But that's the thing, is that the trust is in question because it seems like the only people who are getting hurt were the big shots.
Chris.
And that if they were benefiting from this, your small investors now believe that you wouldn't have shut down the game. And just one thing without getting in the weeds here. You don't control the listing venue for GameStop. Now, I used to work in finance, so I know this stuff, but the audience doesn't need to. The New York Stock Exchange does. So if anybody was going to control the listing and shut it down, it should have been them, but it wasn't. It was you. And the reason that they do it is very limited. They do it because they think there's evidence of fraud, or they think that there needs to be a material disclosure by the company that hasn't been made.
This is definitely
and that's
your
done
choice.
To protect
Nobody was
the
forcing
investor.
you to do this.
You check none of those boxes here because you don't control the venue. You didn't know about any information that GameStop or any of these other stocks needed to put out. You don't have any reason to believe there's fraud that you've articulated. And you're certainly not protecting these people who've been living the dream of making money, especially at the expense of the big guys. So why should people believe you did this for the right reasons?
Tell them.
Well, we have no choice. We have to comply with all financial requirements.
And the SEC hasn't said you had to do this.
Yeah.
Well, lots of brokers have to comply with these financial requirements. And
what requirements?
And have issued restrictions on some of these names. And
can you give us some specifics?
This is an industry-wide thing. You yourself mentioned that other brokers this week have imposed restrictions. And not speaking for other firms,
you guys
but
all effed
for
up.
Robinhood in particular,
Everybody effed
this
up.
isn't because there's deals happening with market makers we route to or market participants.
But then why did you allow people to keep selling but not buying? The reason that is so troubling to people is that they were making money buying the stock.
Why don't you just close buying and selling?
The short side. And so by enabling them to sell but not buy, it sounds like you were allowing the hedge funds, and again, one of them owns a piece of you. And
Chris,
they had a big short position. And that looks like a stinky conflict that you didn't come out straight on from the start.
So stinky.
Address that.
So stinky.
Well, none of that had anything to do with our decision to do this.
But that's exactly what it looks like.
Just looking at regulatory requirements,
how come your decision only helped the hedge funds and only hurt the retail investors?
We 100%
what else
will
are we
always
supposed to
protect
think?
Our customers, where the entire business is operating to empower individual investors and has been since its founding.
Yeah, you're saying
and
that,
that's
but you
what
did the exact
is
opposite
committed
today.
To continue to do.
You
so
did the opposite
we
of
don't want to restrict buying in these 13 stocks.
But that's what you did.
We're doing the best we can to
are you listening to
re-enable
yourself?
It as long as it's operationally and
I think he's only allowed to use like 30 words according to his
standpoint.
lawyers, because he's not using anything that makes sense. He's not saying anything that makes sense. Oh my gosh. So later on in this interview, which I can't really find the rest right now, but he keeps talking about vague regulations and how he had to do it, but he wants to give himself points also because he will often say that they preemptively did it. They preemptively did it to prevent some kind of issue from occurring, also super vague. And Cuomo essentially calls him out saying like, you're saying you didn't have a liquidity problem, meaning that they had to spend a lot of money to manage or close all these positions. And he just totally ignores it, or he doesn't address it. He just keeps skipping over and just saying that, no, there were some issues, but we avoided the problem. We avoided the issues by doing this first. And Chris keeps asking him, well, did you have a liquidity problem or not? And he never ever directly answers it. So either A, they did have a liquidity problem, and it's very embarrassing that that's completely their own fault and we got shafted in the process, or B would be that somebody did tell them that, like, hey, buddy, we're both super rich billionaires. I'm really getting hurt. I kind of own a part of this company and we work together. So can you just help us out? That is functionally what it appears to have happened. If A happened, if they really did have a liquidity problem, he needs to admit it, because shutting down our ability to buy stocks, why should we ever trust Robinhood again that anytime they could decide, oh, we're not allowed to trade this stock anymore, we're only allowed to sell it? That's absurd, and that actually has repercussions all the way through the stock market, where can we even trust these brokerages with our money if at any time we just lose our ability to control what we own or what we can buy, what we can do with our money on their site? This is insanity. I don't know what else to say other than make some very frustrated sounds right now. But I hope everyone's well. Friday is coming. If you're in GME or AMC, I almost feel like it's a matter of principle to continue holding. I'm pretty mad. I'm willing to put some money into this just to stick it to them now. Before, I was only trying to make money, but now more than ever, it's a matter of principle.